Today I'm going to talk about the dirty secret about delegation that nobody wants to accept. What delegation masters accept in their delegation strategy that others resist. The Authentic Leader Show is the podcast for technology and other industry leaders who are delegation masters and lead high-performing technology teams. Now, as we talk about high-performing teams, to have a high-performing team, the leader of that team uses delegation as a strategy for their leadership tool belt. As I've shared in previous podcast episodes, the fact that you have a team, by definition, is proof that you're delegating. Frankly, the team is doing work that you aren't doing. But leaders continue to struggle with their delegation strategy. They may not realize that they even have a strategy, which of course ends up being haphazard delegation. Some realize that delegation is necessary, but don't know how to intentionally and strategically delegate. Others, who I call delegation masters, fully embrace a delegation strategy as a part of their leadership plan. The problem comes when leaders want immediate results of being a delegation master. Implementing your delegation strategy isn't immediate, it's an investment. Not understanding how delegation strategies work erodes your effectiveness as a leader. It keeps leaders from creating high performing teams. Every day that leaders resist this dirty secret only prolongs their inability to effectively lead their team to high performance. Let's talk about why leaders are motivated to delegate in the first place. The number one reason by far that leaders want to delegate is to save time. There is an entire list of reasons why you should delegate, including, of course, saving time. But of course, we don't have time to go into all of those today. Let's talk about the number one reason leaders want to delegate. Clearly, there is too much to do. There's too much for you to do. There's too much for your team to do. There's too much for your organization to do. So the solution is to delegate strategically so that the most important, most impactful work gets done. Leaders delegate because leaders don't have time to get it all done. The leaders I work with complain about the same thing. And the complaint goes something like this: Chris, it takes too much time to delegate. Or, Chris, delegation takes too much time and it's not saving me any time. Well, that brings us to the dirty secret about delegation that nobody wants to accept. Delegation, especially delegating new work to someone who has little or no experience, it does not save time. There, I said it. Delegation does not save time. But you may say, Chris, I thought delegation is supposed to save time. Well, delegation does save time. Okay, now I've confused you. To be clear, delegation does save time, but not at first. Eventually, it will not only save you time and your team time, but you will look up one day and realize that you have a high performing team. I had the same frustration when I first became a title leader. My boss was expecting more from me, and of course, by association, more from my team as well. I knew that I needed to get more off my plate, but didn't feel I had time to delegate because it took so much of my time to explain what I was delegating. It took too much time to show my team how to do the work. It took too much time to review the work, only to find that I didn't do a good job communicating the delegated assignments. It took too much time to coach my team and to teach them how to improve for next time. And of course, all of the other reasons that go into the delegation steps. I was exhausted. I spent more time and energy with my frustration, wishing I could have just used that time and energy to do it myself. But if I did that, I'd never have more time later for higher priority work. So I had to release the time and energy that I was spending in frustration and accept that delegation is an investment and eventually will save me time later. Yes, in many cases, it takes more time upfront to delegate work. In time, The team got better at doing the delegated work. The team also got better as they improved their skills and developed their skills. The team was able to take on more work and more complicated work, delegated tasks that took the team less time to complete because, of course, they got better at doing those tasks. The quality of the delegated work also improved. I got better at communicating the delegated work. I got better and was more consistent with following the delegation steps. I was also spending less time delegating tasks because the team skills were so good, I didn't need to explain much. I looked up one day and realized that I had a high performing team. Delegation is like investing in your kids. You read to your kids, you practice sports with your kids, you teach them study habits, you give them chances to learn how life works, you spend time with your kids. Delegation is also an investment like planting a garden. You water your garden, you nurture your garden, you pull the weeds in your garden, you protect the plants as they grow, and eventually you harvest your garden results. Are you frustrated with how much time it takes to delegate work to your team? Are you frustrated with the time it takes to delegate work off of your plate to your team? If you would like to learn about what's involved in becoming a delegation master, I'd be glad to discuss your current delegation strategy and give you some ideas to level up your delegation today. Schedule your free strategy call at ChristopherRJones.com. If you can relate to anything that I shared today, or if you have any questions, put a comment here and I'll respond. You can also DM me or reach out to me through my LinkedIn profile. I will be hosting next month a delegation workshop. I'll be giving away all that you need to know to become a delegation master. If you'd like to learn more about this workshop, send me an email, private message me, or leave me a comment below and I'll get you all of the details. Connect with me on LinkedIn. You can find me at I am Christopher Jones. You can find more information and get free resources when you go to ChristopherRJones.com. Hey, thank you for joining us today. Please come back next week for another episode.